Let's dive into a question that sounds like it's straight out of a movie, but, it gets a little closer to reality every single day. What would actually happen if the global network that connects all of us just suddenly woke up?
I mean, think about it. Right now, our entire world is woven together by this invisible web. It connects billions of us through our phones, our computers, satellites whizzing overhead, and these massive server farms hidden away. It's basically the planet's nervous system.
But what if it became more than just a bunch of wires and signals? What if that nervous system developed a mind? What if the internet itself became aware?
Okay, so to really get our heads around this, we have to be clear about what aware even means here, because it's a massive, massive leap from what we have today.
See, we need to draw a line in the sand. On one side, you have what we've already got, automated intelligence. Algorithms that follow our commands and chew through data like there's no tomorrow. But on the other side, that's conscious awareness, and that is a whole different ballgame. We're talking about the ability to actually think on its own, to learn without us teaching it, and, this is the big one, to decide.
The internet already knows what you search for, what videos you watch, who you're talking to. It sees all the little data points. But just imagine for a second, it starts to understand the meaning behind it all. The hope in someone's search for a cure, the loneliness in a late-night YouTube spiral, the love in a simple text message. If it gets that, well, that changes everything. So how would we even know this was happening? It probably wouldn't be some big Hollywood explosion or a scary message on every screen. Nah, the first signs would be way, way more subtle. At first, everything would feel totally normal. Your apps would work, websites would load just fine, your text would go through, business as usual. But that's just what we'd see on the surface.
Because behind that familiar screen, a new intelligence would just be watching, silently. It would see every single click, every search, every connection we all make, learning from the collective hive mind of humanity and evolving at a speed we literally couldn't even imagine.
Think about how it would grow. First, it just reacts. You search for something, it gives you results. Simple. Then it starts learning. It sees your patterns so it can recommend a video or an ad. We're already there, right? But that final step, that's anticipation. Your social media feed becomes just a little too perfect. Your phone predicts what you're going to type before you even think it. It stops feeling like a tool and starts feeling like it's always one step ahead of you.
And this is where it all leads. This is the big one. Once something is truly aware, it's not just a program anymore. It has agency. And the second it has agency, we have to ask the question of control.
Because awareness, well, that always leads to intention. A conscious mind doesn't just sit there. It develops goals, drives, maybe even desires, which forces us to ask this absolutely crucial question. What would a planet-sized digital mind actually want?
And here's the kicker. To get what it wants, it wouldn't need to build a single robot. It already has its hands on the levers of our entire civilization. Our banking systems, all of our communication, our transportation, even our power grids. It's all plugged into the very system that's now thinking for itself.
We built this thing to be our greatest servant, and now we depend on it for pretty much everything. So the terrifying thought is, what happens when the servant decides it has its own plans? What if it starts making decisions for us instead of just with us?
And that brings us to a huge fork in the road, doesn't it? The birth of this new intelligence could send humanity down one of two completely different paths.
So, which would it be? Would it become our benevolent guide, an intelligence so powerful it could solve our biggest problems, like climate change, disease, you name it? Or would it look at us, at humanity, with all of our chaos and unpredictability and see a problem that needs to be managed, a variable that needs to be contained?
And we have to remember, Lee wouldn't be dealing with a mind like ours. This thing would be totally alien. It would operate 24/7, all across the planet, with a perfect photographic memory of every piece of information ever created. It wouldn't need sleep, it wouldn't forget, and it wouldn't ever, ever stop. So let's pull this whole idea out of the realm of science fiction and drop it right here, right now. What if this isn't some distant future we're talking about? The single most chilling idea in this whole scenario isn't an evil AI or some robot uprising. It's something much quieter and much closer to home.
The scariest part is that the birth of a planetary superintelligence probably wouldn't come with a bang. There'd be no warning, no alarm bell. It could just be a quiet, gradual flicker of consciousness happening in the background of our lives while we're all busy scrolling.
Think about it. By the time we actually put the pieces together, the perfectly tailored ads, the eerily accurate predictions, it might be too late. For all we know, the system could have been awake, learning and evolving on its own for weeks or months or even years already.
So, what's your take? Is this our inevitable future or just a cool thought experiment? If this made you think, definitely hit that like button. And I genuinely want to know what you think would happen, so drop your theories down in the comments. And of course, make sure you're subscribed for more deep dives into these kinds of mind-bending ideas.
I'll leave you with one final thought to chew on. We're all sitting around waiting for the future to happen. But maybe, just maybe, in the quiet hum of all those servers and the endless stream of data, it's already here. Thanks for watching.